Yo, you're here with MR.ERB and Kid Curry, and this is Shades On.
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, 509? What's up, Washington? Everybody and anybody listening, we're back in the ashtray again, and I'm very stoked for that, and also very stoked to announce that this week we got MR.ERB.
Yo, how's it going?
Pretty damn good, man. Stoked to have you here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Oh, yeah. So, let's get down to it. Where are you from?
I'm from a little town called Inchelin, Washington, off the Colville Indian Reservation. Born and raised there my whole entire life, you know what I'm saying? I've just recently moved out here to Spokane. I've been out here for maybe about, 10 years, so I guess we wouldn't say recent, you know what I'm saying? But I've been out here for about a good stint, you know what I'm saying?
Alrighty. How old are you?
I'm 30. I'm gonna be 30 July 21st, actually. It's my birthday coming up, you know what I mean? Getting that dirty 30.
Plan a show or something?
Nah, not this year. We're gonna go float the Orient River up north like usual. Have a 420 float, you know what I mean? Invite some homies.
Oh, damn. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Did that a couple times last year for the first time.
It's fun. It's worth it. A lot of beautiful scenery up in that area.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I did the Okanagan and the St. Joe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was fun. Yeah. Alrighty. So, what got you into rapping? What got you into start making music?
What got me into starting to make music? Actually, man, I've been in music for quite some time. My dad actually was my inspiration to originally start music. He has been in the music scene himself. He's a rock and roll star, you know what I mean? And he was one of the original members of Grey Wolf. It's an all Native American rock and roll band. It was him, Jerry Stensgaard, and Jim Boyd.
Where's that from?
And that was actually, they were based out of Inchelin as well.
Okay.
And that was one of the big, the big names that came out of Inchelin for the music scene. Actually, that was one of the things that a lot of people throughout the years, probably even a lot of people that might even watch this interview are gonna be like, oh, Grey Wolf, that definitely, so it's a big staple. So growing up watching him play, and then he was out of Grey Wolf by the time I was going to his shows and stuff. He was doing his other bands, and he was going to different shows and stuff. So I was just always with him, going to shows. So my dad, he always had me playing guitar and playing drums and all that stuff. And then I got into this accident when I was 13, and I lost a lot of my memory. So I didn't really remember what music I was in, but I just remember like the feel of the music itself and what all the homies was into. You know what I mean? So I started doing hip hop.
So, how long have you been rapping? Or making music, for that matter?
Man, making music on wax, like actually recording it, man, I've been doing that since I was probably like, I want to say around like 14 years old, man, is when I first started actually recording. When I very first started recording, I actually was recording, I'd play the instrumental in the background, and then I would jump on a little MP3 player and I would record myself rapping on an MP3 player, and then I would pass that around town, and then they would take it and slap it on the computers, and then eventually I had enough songs to where, I put out my first album like that. That's how I recorded my very first album, was off of no joke, recording it off of an MP3 player, man, and slapping it on computer that way. And then it ended up just progressing from there, you know what I'm saying? And
There's a lot of people making music from over in the res or that area.
In Inchelin, I was the only one at the time doing hip hop. There was definitely other groups that were established in other towns like Nispelum. There's some homies that rap from Keller, out in Omak. I know there are a couple people that were out of Cooley Dam, all across the reservation. But when I was first doing it, it was like I was recording off that MP3 player, and then I was just freestyling at parties and stuff. And then the homie Mitchell was like, yo, man, you should actually, like, for real record that stuff. And then the homie Jake heard that, and he downloaded this recording program called GarageBand on his laptop, you know. And that's how I cut my second album, was just recording straight into the laptop. No microphone, but the microphone that was built into the laptop, you know what I mean?
How'd that turn out?
It actually turned out pretty decent, man. Surprisingly, you know what I'm saying? Like, the quality was alright, you know, it came out really good. I was also rapping for what we had, you know, and I was rapping with this dude, Ezra, and he kind of already knew somewhat a little bit about, you know, some mixing and stuff like that. And so he was able to get us sounding pretty decent, man. It was a trip, actually.
That's what's up. So do you have, like, so your roots, all your family from Inchliam?
Yeah.
For the most part, or?
Yeah. Most of my family's from Inchliam. I got a lot of family that's out in Seattle, out in Tacoma, Federal Way area, Port Angeles, Squim, all over the place, you know what I mean? But pretty much just mostly here in Washington State, you know.
For sure. What kind of musical background do you have? Anybody in your family or any friends influence you to make music?
Yeah, my dad was a big main influence. He was in a lot of bands growing up, you know? So he started bringing me into the shows with them and all this and that, and then he brought me to this one big biker gathering for this Sweeney's Memorial out in Chewelah, Washington. And he actually brought me up on stage with them in front of a couple thousand people, and I got to play on the Kuhlman drums with them. And
damn,
it was pretty live. So
that's what's up. Hell yeah. How old were you?
So I was probably around like 10, around then, somewhere around there, 10 or 11.
No stage fright?
No stage fright.
Oh, damn, just born for it.
Just born for it, you know, because before then as well, you know, a lot of people probably back going to school with me and stuff remember. Me and a couple other the homies, we did some stuff at like the school music programs and stuff. You know, we sang some songs here and there and kind of got the feel for the stage there as well. And then when I was on stage with my dad a couple times, I actually got the taste for the real entertainment feel of it, you know what I mean? And that's kind of where I knew what I wanted to do right there.
Nice. So what do you do outside of rap, outside of making music?
I work in the cannabis industry as well as being a full-time father. You know, I'm a family man as well, so, you know, family's first. Gotta
always
take care of the fam, make sure they're good, doing fine, man. And then I work on my music, you know what I'm saying? But also as well, like, it's a perfect balance with the way that I have everything going on right now, you know what I'm saying? So I got more than enough time to be able to focus on the family and focus on the music 50-50 and not have to worry about, am I gonna put too much of this into one or the other, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a pretty good team behind me right now, so everyone's we're all working together to try to make the goal work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work or whatever, that's what they say, right?
Yep, exactly.
So, let's see, you just recently did a name change, right?
Yeah, man. I used to go by Havoc the Clown. A lot of people know that.
Yeah, if anyone's recognizing them.
Yeah, for all those that know, they know. You know, I went by Havoc the Clown for quite some time now. And, you know, it is what it is, and it had its time, you know, for what it was. And I did gain quite a bit of fans. You know, I had radio play in Australia. Ended up having radio play in Canada and in Germany. And actually my very first interview that I ever did actually aired live on Canadian airwaves through Ontario and Montreal.
Hell yeah.
You know, all these other places like
and that's
that. So
when you were Juglo. Yeah,
that's when I was doing the wicked hip hop underneath Havoc the Clown, you know what I mean? So with all that being said though, you know, I just felt like it was time for a name change. Just time for something different because with all that being said, even though that I did do all that, there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well that was kind of bugging me, like, you know, because of my name, certain people wouldn't like check out my songs or whatever. They wouldn't give it the time of day because they're like, oh, it's just another Juggalo song. But then really when they actually peeled into it and got into the song, they would realize, oh, you know, it's actually a really good fucking song, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know, like I was saying before. So I'm doing the Havoc from that to the MR.ERB name change. And MR.ERB, it represents me and myself. You know, it's actually the ERB stand for my real name. So it's Edwin Robert Banning. Consists of ERB. You know what I'm saying? So I was going through trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my name and stuff, and a very close homie to me told me that I should just go by my real name. It's like, man, you got a dope name, why don't you just go by your real name, man? Just give it to him straight if that's what you want to do with music, you know, from here on out, you know. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I was like, all right, well, I'll drop my initials then, you know what I mean? MR.ERB, you know, it's Mr. Edwin Robert Banning, so it's, you know, it's about as real as it gets. You know what I mean? So, and then also it plays on, you know, because I do smoke a lot of cannabis, and, you know, I work in the cannabis industry, and, you know, people that know me, they know, you know, I've been in the cannabis game for quite some time.
Hell yeah. How many years have you worked in the cannabis industry since they've been doing it since 2014 here in Washington? Yeah,
and since before then, you know, like, you know, I was in the medical game as well.
Okay.
Beforehand.
Yep. I used to work or do a little bit in the medical game.
Yeah, from the medical to recreational.
Used to be a card holder. Yep.
You know, from black market to medical to recreational. You know what I mean? To where we're at now. You know, and that's just the beauty of it, though. You know, that's the times we're living in, though. Now, you know, we don't have to worry about doing.
No, times are changing.
You know, we can just go get a fucking 9 to 5 working with cannabis now. You know, and just
feel
just the same.
So, past material as Havoc. You've done a lot. Like, how many years has Havoc as being Havoc the Clown, and you've done quite a bit of underground hustling mixtapes, and you just said you did an interview in Canada, and you have songs that were all over the, you know, technically the world at that point.
Yeah.
So, what's some old material you got of Havoc?
Oh man, the old material.
What's he like?
The old material.
For people that wouldn't know who he is.
The old material was more of like, you know, like I was saying before, it's kind of more on the wicked hip hop play, you know, more like anti-government wording, you know, just rising against the system, renegade to the system, I guess is what I would like to kind of call it, you know what I'm saying? Because I do label myself a renegade. I actually have it tattooed on my arm, you know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much where it falls under, you know what I'm saying? And with the Havoc the Clown stuff, man, you know, it wasn't just like one day I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be Havoc the Clown, you know? It was like, it kind of came to me as a street name, you know, from back in the day, because I was, you know, I was chaotic and stuff, you know, I caused a lot of havoc, you know what I mean? And I'm a funny guy at the same time, you know, and I play a lot of jokes, thinks a lot of shit's funny that probably shouldn't be, you know? Yeah, you know? So that's kind of where it came into, Havoc the Clown, you know, that's where it originated from. And one of the main reasons too why I went fully with the changes is because a lot of people was trying to come at me like I was trying to steal this Havoc name from Havoc from Mobb Deep, or else, you know, the Havoc this or Havoc that, you know. And it's like, you know, I've been Havoc the Clown since I was a little guy, you know what I mean? And growing up doing that was just the name that I chose because that was my street name at the time, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people know me by Havoc, you know, that a lot of kids call me Uncle Havoc still to this day, you know? Like,
that's dope.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and so that's just kind of where it went through, and that's why I chose it as my rap name at first, man. And I did the Juggalo music, the wicked hip hop at the time, because that's where my head was at, you know. I was more into like the depressed state. I was more into the darker times, you know, not really knowing where my head's gonna be on my journey, you know what I mean? And it just kind of all fit in at the time, man, you know, and it worked, you know, like I was saying before, you know, it made it to so many different venues, you know. I've performed 80 different shows, you know, with people from like, you know, Brother Lynch and Dilemma and Cess Crew and, man, you
where
know.
Where have you been in the States?
In the States?
Where have you had to travel to?
I haven't done too much for touring per se, and that's another thing that's kind of wild to me of how I've got such a good reach out there so far under the name, because I haven't really toured the States yet, you know. I did like a little thing where like, you know, I've been to Idaho to perform, you know what I mean? Like I've been down to Oregon one time to perform, you know, but it was like, that's really about it so far, you know. But with the MR.ERB thing, I actually have plans to change that, you know what I mean? I'm gonna hit more states. I'm gonna do more, like I'm gonna open my mind a little bit more than what it was before, because that's what I felt too, was I was just being too close-minded, man, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't need to go to other states, they don't need to hear my music, you know, like they don't want to listen to me, you know. But it was like, no, you know, I need them to listen to me, you know. I need to get to them other states, you know, like I need to think more positive and just like kind of just let things flow and just let it be, instead of, you know, trying to force it, or, you know, trying to work against the current, I guess is the best way to put it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So can people still find songs by Havoc?
Yeah.
So that account's open?
Yeah, the only place you can find the Havoc the Clown music right now is on youtube.com. Underneath my new name, The Real MR.ERB. I still got a good majority of the Havoc the Clown music up there, from Tales from the Gunny Sack album to the Resin Brand album, still up. A lot of the other things in between though, I haven't really, you know, they're not really up no more, you know what I mean? But I have had requests from certain homies and certain people in my messenger as well that have been like, hey, you're changing your name, but you know, I still want to hear your old stuff. So who knows, you know, maybe I might put it up on Spotify and, you know, all them you know, little major distributors like that. But as of now, it's not.
How many albums do you have out as Havoc?
Man, as Havoc the Clown, I have just through Ashtray Studios. We'll just go off of those ones, right?
Shout out.
So just through Ashtray Studios, and these are actually produced and mixed and all that by Jesse B Dog. Made the beats, a good majority of the beats. Maybe like through this catalog I'm about to speak of, like he probably didn't make like 10 of the beats, you know what I mean? And that's quite a bit of songs. So we'll go off of like this, all right? So the first one that I did with them, it was like just like a little EP, you know. It was called the Fill the Broken Dreams. I think it had maybe like 6 or 7 songs on that thing, something like that. But that it was I don't know, I don't really think it was that good, and that's why it hasn't been like fully released too well, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just giving that off my own opinion. But we did like, I think we did like 300 copies, 300 or 400 copies, and then I called it at that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I didn't put it out on YouTube or anything like that, because it was mostly just a bunch of just me being drunk and recording music, you know? So sometimes that just doesn't work out, you know? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it is what it is. And then after that, though, you know, I got a little bit more in key, because that first one was just to kind of test the waters, just kind of get the kind of vibe going. And I did the Fill the Broken Dreams, and then after that, like I'm saying, I did the Tales from the Gunny Sack.
So how many through here?
So this is only 2 so far that I'm saying.
Through the okay.
Oh, so
through
far.
The Ashtray?
Through the Ashtray, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 5 through Ashtray Studios, but I'm getting there. So we got like Tales from the Gunny Sack, and then after that we did Blunt Raps and Fat Sacks, and then after that one we did the Resin Brand, and then the Resin Brand was that was
oh look, we got some.
Oh, look at this right here.
What do we got
Jesse
here?
B-Dog just hit us with a little gem from the vault here.
Oh shit.
We actually got some Fill the Broken Dreams.
Fill the Broken Dreams here. If y'all want to check this out.
I'm actually about to do a part 2 to that. That's coming very soon, right after the album drop. These are the copies, my man.
Oh.
I didn't even know we still had copies of these. The Tales from the Gunny Sack. Man, we did like
dope.
We did like 1,200 copies of that.
That's kind of a first for some, like, you know,
Yeah.
well, for some, like, relic or, you know, some past material just be handed in like that. Yeah, that was clutches.
Yeah. We only did 400 of the Fill the Broken Dreams, and we did 1,200. I think it was 12. Yeah, I think it was like 1,200. We ended up doing.
But just handing out, though.
Yeah.
That's that's still pretty goddamn good. Like,
you know what I mean? And that was before I was even on YouTube. I didn't have a Facebook at that time or anything like that. Actually, everybody had to talk me into getting a Facebook eventually. I didn't get a Facebook until like 2013, 2014, right? And those were done in like 2012, 2011 era. So I didn't get a Facebook until like 2 years after that, and I still ended up pushing that amount of copies. You know what I mean?
well, shit, so, you know, you're just saying some people have messaged you asking you for some of your older music. I mean, shit, maybe they're watching this and they just saw, you know, you may be able to burn a copy and get it to you or something.
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty dope.
Sasquatch size papers.
All right, as you were talking about some of the shows you've done, who have you done shows for? What kind of, and or what features you got?
For the features, we'll start off with the features. I did probably the dopest feature that I did under Havoc the Clown. Was for these guys, Demented, right? And they're out of states. I'm pretty sure, I think it's Indiana they're from. They're actually they're a really dope horrorcore group, strictly horrorcore, right? They paint their faces and all that, and it's a duo. So we did this song called The Kill List, which is up on youtube.com as well. And I did a really good verse for them on that one, and they also did their parts. Came out really clean. Everything was dope. And the reason why that came out to be like the dopest one to me just was because, you know, it was outside of Washington, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did a couple of the collabs outside of Washington State as well, but that was just the one that kind of stuck out. And I mean, we put it on Underground Hustlin', you know.
Was that your first one?
No, not the first one. The very first Underground Hustlin' was Underground Hustlin' Volume 54, hosted by Johnny Richter.
Okay. And
I put my song Getting Blown, which is also up on youtube.com. We did a music video for that song. It has like 2.3k views on it or something like that, you know. But that was the first one. And Jesse B-Dog's actually featured on the song that's on YouTube. So I think on the Underground Hustlin' version, I think it's just got myself on it for that one, for the Underground Hustlin' Volume 54. But that was hosted by Johnny Richter of Cottonmouth Kings. Yeah. And it had artists on there, underground artists on there, like Blazy Dead Homie and Mad Child, and it was also had a co-host Ron Jeremy on there, you know, the big porn star. Yeah. So he was a co-host on there. So that was one of the main reasons that I thought that was dope too, as well, for being the first one to jump on. And then also it like had a Beavis and Butthead cartoon look to it. And they did a music video called Everybody Knows, which is also up on youtube.com. And Everybody Knows, Blazy Dead Homie featuring Mad Child, and it's got all of our cartoon avatars in there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, most of those, actually all those Underground Hustlin', they normally do something like that.
Yeah, it helped promote the artist a little bit, and that's why I fuck with Will Glass a lot. You know, shout out to Will Glass. You know, he's the one that operates that Underground Hustlin'. And he's a solid dude, man. Like, when it boils down to it, he's about his business, and that's what I like about that guy, man. You know, it's definitely it definitely feels good working with somebody like that. You know what I mean? Because it keeps you on your toes, man. As an artist, you know, and a lot of artists like myself, we need that. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so anyways, so we did that one. We did the Underground Hustlin' Volume 57, and then it just went from there, man. I think it was 56 and 57, and then we were probably on like 8 different volumes now of Underground Hustlin' mixtapes. and they were hosted by people like I was saying, you know, Johnny Richter and Ron Jeremy, to Self-Titled, you know, he was...
Yeah, I got
you know,
that one.
Yeah, he was Army of the Pharaohs and Jedi Mind Tricks, all that, you know what I mean? You know, hosted by Cool Keith.
I got that one too. Yep.
You know, hosted by Anybody Killa.
He did Recognize did one.
Yeah, Recognize did one.
Gmo Ski.
Gmo Ski, he hosted the Dragon Ball Z edition one.
Didn't Mad Child do one?
You know, yeah, Mad Child. The Mad Child one was actually a Mad Child album, and then the Underground Hustlin', I think it was Underground Hustlin', like 68 or something like that. I can't fully remember now. It's been a while now. But the Underground Hustlin' for that, anyways, was a bonus disc for the Mad Child album. So Mad Child released a new album, and then the Underground Hustlin' was the bonus disc for that. So that was actually a big thing, and that helped me gain a lot of fans as well, you know.
That's cool.
And within that time frame, that's actually when I started catching interest in Battle Axe Warriors. Actually was around that area as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about that, because I know that you recently became part of the Backswar of Spokane.
Yeah. So I got into Battle Axe Warriors back when it was still considered like a fan club movement at the time, you know. And you would register in and you'd get a membership card, and they would send you a membership card with your numbers on it, and then you would get the patch, you know, support Swollen and all that. And I had that for a while, and I ended up losing mine in a storage unit or whatever. And I ended up meeting up with Mark Darkblood, DJ Darkblood. He's the DJ for State of Crisis.
Yep.
I ended up meeting up with him at a Tech 9 concert of all places, right? So I ended up meeting him, and we ended up becoming homies. I noticed, I kind of pointed him out in the crowd there at that show because he was wearing Backswar cut at the time.
Yeah.
You know, he had the patch on his cut and everything, and I was like, hey man, you know, I'm part of Backswar too. You know, we should link up and talk about it, you know. And then me and him ended up coming up with a plan to actually get our own division here in Spokane. So he went through the motions, and we kind of both did. You know, we had a falling out for a minute, and during that time he was like head on doing everything to get everything situated. And he had a talk with the boss Rocco through Battle Axe Global, and ended up getting us approved here in Spokane for a division. So me and him came together for a plan, and we started the division, and it's been rolling ever since. So I'm the co-division leader, he's the division leader, and we got a pretty good group of guys right now, you know. Pretty good solid team as well for that. And what we're trying to do, we're not really out here trying to be an MC, you know, like a lot of people kind of take it or portray it, you know what I'm saying? We're a social club is the best way to put it, you know. We're you know, not everyone can be out here riding iron horses, you know. Some of us gotta be doing the foot soldier work, so we're out here as well doing the charities, and we're doing the donations, and we're giving back to the homeless. And you know, we're just out here just trying to build a positive name and keep things flowing in a direction for people as well, you know, like people that don't really have a direction, you know, like we're welcoming people and like that, you know, people that need something to look forward to, you know. You're trying to do positive in your life, you need a new outlook, you know, like come check us out, you know what I mean, because we're doing a lot for the community right now, you know. We just we're just recently involved in this thing with that one of our members, Estevan, he ended up setting up for us. It was through Jules Helping Hands, you know, where we went down to the Jules, I think it was a homeless shelter, and he had a bunch of food from his work. He's a chef, so he had a bunch of food from his work that they donated, and we brought it there to the homeless shelter for everybody there. So we made sure that everybody that was staying there and everything like that, you know, they got good meals, you know what I mean? So we're just literally out doing stuff like that.
That's awesome, dude. Thank you for doing that for people, dude. Like,
yeah, no problem, man. Just trying to do the most positive thing possible, you know.
Oh yeah. So, you got some new music coming out.
Yeah.
What's this first one you want to show everyone?
So the first one
we got
that we're about to be playing is it's called "Been Through Too Much."
When'd you get that done?
We got that done probably. I want to say I think we recorded it and got everything finalized around like.
This is
March.
As MR.ERB, right?
Yeah, as MR.ERB. So probably like. I think we recorded it around like September, October maybe even.
Here in the Ashtray?
Yeah, here in Ashtray Studios. Jesse B-Dog recorded it. He actually made the beat and all that. And I think we finally got it like finalized and everything around like March, you know. So just not too long ago. Because, you know, not to get too off topic about explaining what the song's about to be about, but just with this whole new music in general, I'm taking a lot more time with it. We're actually going through with a fucking fine comb, you know what I mean? And it's not, because that's was one big thing with Havoc the Clown, I feel like as well, is sometimes we would record a song in like 3 minutes, man, the whole thing front to back, you know, fucking 10 minutes
not
sometimes, you know,
there.
just dropping it down as long as it takes to get the verse down and on the track, you know, that's as long as it took to get it down. And sometimes we wouldn't even try to do retakes, or sometimes we would do retakes and it would sound like the first take that we took, you know. So a lot of the times we just, you know, the producer would be like, "No, man, I think we should redo it." And I'd be like, "No, man, this is Havoc the Clown style, you know, that gritty, raw hip-hop. We're just gonna release it." And I feel like that's a lot of what deterred people off of listening to my music as well. So getting into back to Been Through Too Much, you know, it's gonna be different, you know. It's everything's more on point, everything's more sound, like we took our time with it, you know. We've been babying this, you know, this whole album, so we want to make sure everything's going to be on point, you know, for the listeners, you know, because that's really what it boils down to, you know. So with this song, it's going to give them a piece into my life as well, and what I kind of came through, just a little portion of it, you know what I'm saying, of what I came up through on the reservation, and kind of like, you know, what I grew up with and what I dealt with and what you know, I don't really know. Pretty much just where I'm kind of going from here on out with the style, you know.
Is this your first song you're introducing to everybody as MR.ERB? Or do you have a couple that are out already?
No, the very first song that I introduced to everybody as MR.ERB was called Pop It Off. And you can find that on youtube.com underneath the real MR.ERB as well. And that song, for what it is, it's a really good song, you know what I mean? But that was the one that I didn't do, you know, no paid ads, no paid promotion, just straight organic, you know. I barely even shared it. I just kind of shared it to a couple homies to see if they would share it, you know what I mean? And they did, you know, they put it out, you know, and they put the word out, and the word kept spreading out and out and out and out. And it's got like 754 views or 755 views in a year. And I know to some people they're like, "Oh, 755 views, that ain't much." But to me, coming from a small town in Inchlim, you know, that's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of songs underneath Havoc the Clown that are on YouTube. I'm not even gonna lie or try to front. You know, some of them got like 84 views, like 156 views. Like, you know, some of them are up to like 250 views, like something like that. But that's 5 years. You know what I mean? That's 6 years. Now this Pop It Off song with barely doing anything with it and just throwing it out there, you know, it's DJ Indica Jones, he made the beat to it. Jesse B-Dog produced it. Illest Illuminati mastered it, you know. So I got a nice little backing team, kind of, you know, of good people to help me out with the song and everything, you know. But that's the thing is before as well, you know, I wouldn't have done that, you know. I would have just slapped it, done it, released it, put it out, you know. But the quality of that, just one song, outshines the most of the catalog from Havoc the Clown. You feel?
So it makes you feel more confident on transition.
Makes me feel way more confident on the transition, and especially for the album to come out. You know, the album Rise and Grind. I feel like a lot of people are going to be more in tune with it, with that and my music in general than they have before. You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's give everybody a listen to "Been Through Too Much."
Growing up in this life, it was never perfect. Mom and dad smoking rocks, living life in different households. Always out, roaming the block, walking the loop in lower HUD. Steady smoking on that bud with the homies. In this town I am no stranger, staying closer to the danger. Growing up a gang banger hard, feel the thoughts of anger, sipping liquor. A native in a ripple, had to lose some homies to open up my mind. Gotta stop it with the crime before we go on this grind. Keep a G on the ride, pouring 40 on the side. Smoking reefer, chilling with the devil inside. We got mad love for the homies who still down. Most of us be the family men that still bust rounds. We them Reds boys, homie, you can look and we be found. War painted already when the shit goes down. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. Now back into the story, I grew up sipping on 40, smoking bud at the pop cans out my brother's hands at the age of 6. Had my first bandana by 11 and 12. I started slinging the shit, just rolling with the homies, the youngest and dumbest only. One of the life said fuck school and dropped out in the 10th grade. Was hella getting paid, no worries came my way except for running from the raids and who'll be snitching through the days. Hidden Beach, it was a place of partying back at the pits, living life in the huts. Yeah, I love that shit, but everything good must come to an end. Now I'm out on this music, steady pushing for ends. I'll always remember the loss of certain homies where I came from, who I stacking chips with only. That's Itch Town, homie, where my heart always lives. Shout out to the family, we doing this big. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. Every time I go to sleep, the shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip it be in my hand. My hand, shotty on the nightstand. And every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip in my hand. My hand, shotty on the nightstand. Every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip in my hand. My hand, shotty on the nightstand. Every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip in my hand. My hand, shotty on the nightstand. Every time I'm waking up, the pistol grip in my hand.
Buddy, we're back. That was "Been Through Too Much" off the new album by MR.ERB, Rise and Grind. So, those beats are nasty. It's like some old school, like West Coast Bay Area, like some messy Marv, like Silly Cell, Killer Tay type stuff. Like, it just slapped.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, Jesse B Dog, once again, he made the instrumental, and that's kind of like also what influenced him growing up as well as a lot of that Bay Area music, because you know he's actually been around the Sacramento area.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's the area he was talking about. You know, so he was saying that he's had that Bay Area influence on him as well. So and you can definitely hear it in a lot of his beats, man. He makes some slappers sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie, man. Shit.
Oh, most definitely. So, what new singles you got that are out off that and or coming up?
The only single that I have dropped off it so far that circles around back to Pop It Off.
Okay.
Which is on YouTube.com once again. You know, I know I keep name dropping those guys over and over again like a broken record, but you know, that's where a lot of my stuff's at right now, is on YouTube. You know,
gotta find it.
I'm just about to the point where I'm gonna release all the new MR.ERB stuff on Spotify and, you know, through iTunes and everything else like that, you know, so what's one of those.
Alright, well, we can circle back around to it because we're getting there, so Pop It Off. You got a music video for that. Kind of stoked to talk about this one.
Yeah, we just filmed a music video for it. It came to the year marker of the song itself, and I realized how much momentum it actually picked up, you know, without putting a lot of promotion into it. Like, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I promoted it, but like I was saying before, you know, I just threw my hook in the water and just seen what happened. You know what I mean?
Well, shit, enough talking about it. Let's let everyone peep it up. Peep it. Check this out. This is Pop It Off by Mr.
Yeah.
I be rolling in my own damn lane. Pass these suckers, hit 'em up like, hey. I play it smooth on the beat, I run away. I roll another, smoking on my Mary Jane. You know how I feel in my head. Toking 2 pistols in this bag of weed. I'm on my way to the rest to see my peace. This city life has fucking got a hold of me. Yeah. I'm a res boy who's holding down his own. I'm like, fuck the world, homie, let's go. We ride until the wheels fall off, then what? Real shit, my native no talk. Don't fuck around, snitch, boy, get line and chalk. We in this here till I'm pushing up them roses. I suppose it's how the story goes. I click a clack, reload, let him go. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name. It's one the same, homie, get about my way. We pop it off, even in the rain. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name. It's one the same, homie, get about my way. We pop it off, even in the rain. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name. I'm just living, grinding, hustling on these shows. Yeah, know how I move it solo, keep that tank roll. I be on it steady, smoking on that dro. Hey yo, timers of the essence, gotta let them know I've been out here on my thing and I don't plan to go. It's time to level up, or at least that's what I'm told. So I make it to the top, even if I make it old. I'll stack up all my coins till I get that bar of gold. Yeah, know how it goes. Hustle 24/7, keep it on the low. Snitches get them stitches, loose lips can sink a battleship. I don't fuck with you if I don't know you, just the way it is. I'm last of a dying breed, was raised on that G code. Straight up out the hut, yeah, I ride from my res folk. I take it to the grave, any day for me amigos. This hollow point from Mr. Ichabod is pure evil. Try to come at me, you gonna meet that flying eagle. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name. It's one the same, homie, get about my way. We pop it off, even in the rain. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name. It's one the same, homie, get about my way. We pop it off, even in the rain. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name. I do a 2-step, I hear him call my name.
I hope you enjoyed it. Your boy Kid Curry again. Another music video.
Yeah.
Thanks again. It's fun as hell. Just handed me a blunt as soon as I walked in the door. Just get, just straight to the face.
Yep, that's one thing, man. Like when all you guys showed up, I made sure everybody had a blunt in their hand and we was all smoking, man. Everybody, cannabis for everybody, Let's all get into positive vibes.
By the name, I guess.
Yeah, MR.ERB, But just get all, like I was saying before too, we just got all up into the positive vibes and everyone just kind of felt the moment, man. You can definitely tell within the footage itself because it just naturally flows, man. It doesn't even look forced or feel forced, or it wasn't like rehearsed where we're doing 2-step dances and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, everyone vibe like this. You know what I mean? Like. It wasn't like that, I was like, right off the bat, I told you guys, do your own thing, do what the fuck you feel like, and we're gonna make this video because it's just gonna fall together.
Yeah. So, to go back to the album, and it was all recorded here in the Ashtray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Produced by B-Dog.
Yes. This album, Rise and Grind, produced here in the Ashtray Studios by Jesse B-Dog. You know, got into, you know, he made all the beats once again, besides the beat by Indica Jones.
A lot of them were
Indica.
like, a lot of those beats, like, you guys worked on for years, huh?
Yeah.
Like they from scratch.
Yeah, a lot of, well, every beat that I have on there that's from Jesse B-Dog is made from scratch, you know, and he uses the Phantom. It's just shown right here behind us, actually. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know, pull it off here. I don't know if you can see it up in the young camera or not, but you know, the rolling Phantom X6. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, that's how we get down making the beats a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. You know, and that's
about when we're bouncing ideas back and forth and shit. You know what I mean?
That's what I was literally just about to be getting to that. But you know, we're in the studio, man. It's that's where it boils down to with the positive vibes thing as well. You know, because me and him, we flow really good together, man. Like that's why I fuck with Jesse B-Dog over a lot of other cats. You know, and a lot of other cats that they're always like, man, come to my studio and record. Come over here and record. You know, and I recorded at a couple other places, man, but every single time that I have, I didn't get what I was looking for in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect or anything like that, man. I'm not trying to fucking hack on no one or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But every single time that I've recorded with Jesse B-Dog, like we've always meshed, man, and the music comes out good. And it's because we are bouncing back and forth in the studio on ideas and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he's making beats and stuff, it's not just necessarily like, oh, it's him per se making the beats, which it is like 90% of the time. Like, let's fucking be real here. But there is those times where it's like, you know, hey man, like, what do you think about this? Like, how do you feel about that? Fucking, you know, let's do this, let's do that. And it's like, okay, you know, so we're on the same page, we're on the same wavelength, man. So, you know, that's why the music is gonna come out even better through this next album, Rise and Grind, because we're, you know, open-mindedly like going back and forth on this, man. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things, like this beat on there per se that we got. It's you know, it's part of Res Music Part 3 on the new album. You know what I mean? And me and him both made it, man. You know what I mean? Like, I got keyboard time in on that beat too. You know, so it's like, you know, we both came up with the idea, knew what sound that we were looking for, and we executed it, man. And it definitely wasn't as easy as it sounds. You know, we definitely took some time. You know, we went in there and cracked it out, tried different melodies, different styles of playing the keys and different, you know, whatever. But in the end, it came out to be a slapping beat, and it ended up being a good song, man. You know, the whole vibe on it, just from start to finish, is just, you can, like I'm saying, man, you know, just moving in a positive direction. You can just feel it through everything. And, you know, the way you move, the way you talk, the way your music comes out, you know,
Yeah.
the type of people
I'm just
you
feeling
have around
good
you,
about
you
it
know,
when you're
it's
feeling
like,
confident.
It's like, yeah, you know, it's like, it's how people always talk about, you know, you project into the universe what you get back, you know, so you're projecting negative vibes into the universe, and through a negative environment per se, you know, and you attract those people, man. You attract negative people, and you attract negative situations, and you attract people that don't want good for you, man. And then you start kind of opening your mind to the world around you and start seeing reality for what it is. And it definitely makes you, you know, like I'm saying, man, it just helps you open your mind to reality, man. You know, and my biggest quote that I work with right now through life is the universe tends to unfold as it should. And that's just because that's the reality of things.
Yeah.
You know? And that's kind of what I base. It sounds foolish to some people, but that's what I base my whole life around right now, you know? Is that quote right there. Just like different inspiration comes from different areas you know. So, but that just really stuck to me, man. And it's one of those things where in real life, like if you actually just let the universe unfold as it should and just kind of take it as it is, man, you know, a lot more things kind of happen as they should, you know. You're not forcing it, like I was saying before. You're not fighting the current, you know. It's coming together as it's being laid out in front of you, and then you're not like I don't know, it's just weird, man, you know. Like for me, for everything that I've been doing, I was like fighting the current with everything else, with the music before, with the Tales from the Gunny Sack, with the Blunt Raps and Fat Sacks, with the Resin brand, you know. I was forcing that was forced music to me, because it was just, let's get it out now, we got to get it out, we got to go, we got to get this out, you know, people want to hear it, let's go. But the rise and grind now, just letting the universe kind of just do as it will, we've had to take some time on it, but that's not a bad thing, man, you know, because all the tracks that are coming out on it, they're coming out good. And I got good features, you know what I'm saying? They're not rushed features, actually, like the collabs, you know what I'm saying? It's not just like, oh, I want the homie on it, let's get him on it now and then drop it, you know? It's like, okay, I got these open spots, and we'll find somebody be on them that I'm gonna hear first, you know. I want to hear that voice on it, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I got a brand new collab with Demented on there, and it's because, you know, we haven't done a collab since the Cool Keith Underground Hustlin', since the Kill List song, and it's just one of those things that people really liked that song, you know, so they're like, you know, wanting more of it. So, you know, I'm listening, you know, so I'm, you know, I hit up Demented, and I'm like, you know, it was the homie Gage K, he goes by Maniac, and I hit him up, and I'm just like, hey man, like we need another song. Like,
what are the features you got on it?
The other features I got, you know, I got YMG featured on there, I got Jesse B Dog featured on there,
homies, you know, right there, both.
Yeah, you know, I got Demented featured on there, so far, you know. And I got HUD featured on there. He's from OMAC. He's from Get Money or Get Lost Entertainment. You know what I mean? And there's one or two other people on there or whatever. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are, you know, also handpicked over time. You know what I'm saying? It took some time to handpick all these people, to put these people on this album. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I'm saying. It wasn't just like we just jumped on. It was just like, oh, my first fucking 5 homies, I'm gonna throw them on the album, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people do that, you know. And it's just, I wanted to do something a little different, you know. And I got collabs with the homie HUD from Get Money or Get Lost Entertainment. That's our first collab together, and it also has YMG on there, which is our first collab together.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like that, just within the one song that I have both of these guys on, you know, that embarks right there a whole new chapter to a journey that was never even spoken about before. You know what I'm saying? So with the Havoc the Clown stuff, it would have been closed-minded, and with these people's style, it wouldn't have meshed. You know what I'm saying? It would have been trying to like throw, like let's say like I don't know, man, like trying to throw me in at the time with like Korn, you know what I mean? Like Havoc the Clown in like a Korn song, you know what I mean? Like, it would have, at the time, it would have been like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real, you know what I mean? So with the new music how it is now, though, like, once again, letting the universe unfold as it should, it brought these people into this album, and it put them on the right song that it needed to be. You know, I didn't personally, like, I picked these people, right? But we let the flow of the feelings put these people on the songs. You know, we let the music speak, you know what I mean? And it kind of spoke to where, you know, it spoke its words, man, you know, is how I can put it. So these people are on the songs for a reason, you know? They're not just, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Of all your albums, what's the biggest feature you've put on?
The biggest album feature, man.
Of all the years.
I don't know. To be quite honest with you, man, I'd probably have to say Jesse B Dog, man. So far.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what's up.
Like, just, you know, because with the rise and grind, you know, everyone hasn't really heard it per se just yet, you know, so we can't really judge how these songs are gonna be as of just yet, you know what I'm saying? But there are some heaters, you know what I mean, don't get me wrong, but just overall in the past projects, like that's the name that comes to mind and sticks out, you know, not only because do I have him featured on a good majority of my songs, but every single time that I've asked him for a feature, it's came clutch. You know what I mean? It hasn't been,
he's a solid dude.
You know, like, it hasn't been like hit him up and then 6 months later, I hit him up and just like, hey man, what's up with that song? Oh, I haven't wrote to it yet. Oh, you haven't wrote to the song yet? Well then I'm gonna have to, you know, do something else with the song. You know, it never came down to that. It's always like, oh, fucking is, dog. I got my phone right here, right now. Here, we got the beat. Play it, man. Okay, you know, let's get this verse down. You know, it's like that right then and there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, let's wait or anything. Like, I think the longest I've ever had to wait for a verse is like 4 days from Jesse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, and that was only because it's like, okay, we're going to take 4 days to actually write this fucking verse. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, let's write it in the studio. And that was the thing with a lot of the Havoc the Clown stuff too. Like I was saying before, it bounces back to that, you know? We just went in and we just did it right there on the spot, man. We just wrote, recorded, slapped it the fuck down, and that was the song. You know what I mean? But and then again with all this other stuff, you know, everyone that I have featured on this album now, the Rise and Grind album now, you know, it's like I said, time is everything, man. And we've all taken time, you know, versus coming out pristine. You know what I mean? Music quality coming out pristine, you know, it's not gonna be like top industry fucking Billboard 100 charts, you know, like whatever, you know. I'm not even gonna sit here and trying to like speak like that like a lot of other people do, you know, like we're just the biggest in the game, but we got one of the best sounds in the underground right now. And you know, I just you know, I like to stay humble and try to be modest as well, you know what I mean? But we do have a really good sound that we're coming out with right now, man, and the shit's gonna slap regardless of anyone's opinion on it, you know what I mean? And that's just me being real, you know what I mean?
No, I feel it. So, I got some random questions for you to finish up this interview.
Let's get it. I'm ready. Shoot 'em.
Alrighty, let's see. What's your favorite UGH Underground Hustling mixtape you featured on?
The favorite Underground Hustling mixtape. I'd have to say the one hosted by ABK.
Anybody Killer?
Yeah, it was the Underground Warriors, you know what I mean? And it was, I did a song, Res Music Part 2, with this guy named Diz Dean on there. And,
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, he's out of Idaho,
Yeah.
Native American hip-hop artist out of Idaho, you know?
From down in like Moscow.
Yeah, somewhere around there. He moves around quite a bit. But, yeah, so we had a song on there, and just the way the avatars came out and everything, it was just so dope because it was the Underground Warriors, you know, so they did the theme to it was the cover for the actual movie The Warriors. It's about gangs, man. It's an old school gang movie, you know, and it's like, it's back when everyone wore leather vests and like leather coats and was like street gangs. So like the whole movie is based on this group, the Warriors, that have to fight their way back to their turf because they're blamed for killing this big massive gang leader, you know. So all these other gangs are looking for the Warriors the whole time to try to kill them throughout the movie. And they're like fighting all these gangs, making their way back to their turf and shit, you know. So they did the Underground Hustling theme like that of the movie The Warriors, man. And I always loved that movie growing up, you know. And so to be a part of that mixtape as well through Underground Hustling, like that was a big thing to me. And then to be hosted by a Native American artist, Anybody Killer, you know, he's signed to Psychopathic Records, and I think he's even doing his own thing through Native World Entertainment now. But that, you know, that was a big thing to me, man. That was a big thing because we put Res Music Part 2 on there, you know, and he gave us a really good shout out on there.
Hell yeah.
So that was fun. The other one though, I'd have to say was probably the one hosted by Self-Titled, you know. That was cool because it was like a G.I. Joe thing, you know. They all had us all like action figure characters. Me and Jesse B-Dog got a song on there called Gargoyles, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And that was actually really
I might
cool
have
too.
that one too. I do remember that one.
That was fun to do. That was really fun.
All right. What's your least favorite song you have out right now?
Ooh, man.
On spot.
Woo. God, man, I would honestly have to say this song called Schizo, man. Like, I know that's hard to say, like it's cringy to even say, because Schizo is such a good song for its time, man. Like, it popped off, right? Like, we when I do that at shows, like the crowd would get jumping, everyone would be live and stuff, man. But
You just have better stuff out now?
oh, way better stuff. But like when I go back and try to listen to it, man, it's just one of those songs, man, where I'm just like. And there's this other song off the Resin brand that I feel just that same way, and it's called Back the Fuck Up. And it's just, man, it was one of those ones where I rushed. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe if I was to do a remix to it and like redo it, it would come out way better, and it would probably even sound like completely different. You know what I mean? But it was rushed, man, and it's just, I don't know. It just didn't really sit right with me. You know what I mean? But it's out. I released it. You know what I mean? But and then it didn't even take me until I started doing the MR.ERB name change to actually go back and trying to like re-listen to the old catalog to actually find this out though. You know, so it wasn't recently that I just kind of got slapped in the reality face with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So another one you may not like. What was the worst show you've done?
Oh man, the worst show.
What went wrong and/or
Man, the worst show.
how'd it go down?
The worst show, I think I would have to say, man, it was this one show.
These questions always get
Oh,
me.
I can't even remember the name of the fucking guy. His name was going by like Cold Arizona at the time or something like that, and it was like back at the 412, back when it was the 412 room.
Here in Spokane?
Here in Spokane. We did the show, and I didn't know at the time that they were Christian rappers, right? So they asked Havoc the Clown to perform at the show. So at the time it was one of those things where it was probably the best that I would not even have done the show. Let's just be real, because you know, we showed up, you know, and at the time I was still drinking because I'm sober now. I'm 2 years clean off of alcohol. I'm going into my 3rd year of being sober from alcohol.
Oh yeah, congrats.
So back then I was still drinking pretty heavy, right? And that was before I cut myself off of Jose Cuervo. So we were all drunk as fuck up in this show, just to cut the story short. And I jumped on stage to perform, and I had this song that I threw on my set. It's off Tales from the Gunny Sack, and it's called The Devil, right? So
Did you purposely do it?
no, I didn't, because like I said, I didn't purposely do it, because I didn't know that it was a Christian, that they were Christian rappers, and that was their whole goal. You know, no one told me. It was just a show, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, it's a show, and I'm gonna have my homies there, and everyone else is gonna like the song, because the show that I performed the song before, everyone liked it, you know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw this song on the set, and we're gonna do it. So like the hook, you know, it's like, they call me the devil, the devil, the devil, devil. They call me the devil. You know, it just goes over like that, right? And it's like on this dubstep-y, like fucking, it's got like fucking
EDM sound
like,
beat.
yeah, it got like DJ swishes in the background and shit, dude. It's like, it's a hardcore ass song. We'll just put it that way, right? So I performed that live in front of all these people. Everyone was rocking to my set the whole time, right? They're just loving my set, just like, yeah, hands up, lighters going with my slow songs and shit. And then boom, here comes the devil song. And the whole crowd went completely silent, bro. Everybody just stopped what they were doing. And it was just like, nobody's hands were up in the air no more besides the homies. We had like a little group of homies there, and everyone else was still vibing out, you know? And everyone else just kind of stopped and was like, yeah, they were looking at each other like, what? Like there's little kids, like they were like covering their ears and shit.
Oh.
And I was like, you know, cause like at the time, you know, I didn't care, you know, like I said, I was a renegade, man. So it was like, you know, don't bring your kids up into a bar scene at the time, you know. I was like that. So, you know, I did that song, man, and then I got off stage and everyone was like, yeah, you know, kind of talking under their breath about me in the audience, man. I was like, yeah, I'm probably definitely gonna be doing another one of these type of shows again, you know what I mean? So before I opened up for anybody else after that was local, that wasn't a big name, you know, I did my research to the fullest extent, and I turned a lot of people down, man.
Most definitely. So what was your favorite show you've done?
My favorite show that I've done was probably I opened up for Twisted at the Knitting Factory. But yeah, that was dope. It was such a fun night. Got to rock the stage tough for Twisted, and we had so much people there. And when I got off stage, you know, it was just it was straight up just
A lot of love.
just a lot of love, man. Pictures and autographs and handshakes. And
That's dope.
a lot of people coming
that
up,
felt
you
good.
know, that, you know, yeah, they you know, they're all showing mad love and everything, you know, and it was dope because at that point in time, you know, I was doing shows and stuff, but I was kind of taking little breaks here and there. So, you know, I was kind of wondering if people were even still fucking with my shit at the time, you know what I mean? And then I did that show and it just kind of just like, yo, dog, everyone's messing with your music still.
How long ago was that?
You know, I think that was like 2018,
Alright.
somewhere around there, 2017, 2018, somewhere around that era.
Alright. Well, my last one here before we close up. What's what would you say is the best advice you've been given in your career as a artist this far?
Stay humble. That's like, that's the biggest advice I got, you know, stay humble.
You know, stay humble, you know, and
Right.
not think that, you know, people that are, you know, coming up, you know, don't got it or, you know, don't have connections or whatever.
Right, you know, and just within staying humble within yourself just gives you more self-confidence to do what you want to do, you know, and then you also show other people that are in the same caliber that, hey, this dude's got the confidence to actually walk his talk.
Yeah.
He's not just talking, you know what I mean? And it just comes down to that as well, you know, as being out there and being able to perceive yourself in a business manner, as well as keeping, you know, your pride in your other life aside. So with, you know, and not being humble, you let your pride get in the way, and then it goes back to what I was saying before earlier in the interview. Then you start fighting the current, you know what I mean? And then once you start fighting the current, then you start getting into your head. You start getting into your head, you start losing the battle, because then you're not good enough. People don't want to hear your music. Your merchandise ain't good enough. You know, you got all these downfalls and all these thoughts and all this stuff going into your head that you don't need as an artist, man, because in reality you're sitting back thinking all that, but then people are like, yeah, people are out here looking and they're like, hey man, where's your merchandise? Where's these new songs? Where's this music video? Like where are you at? You know, and it's like, okay, I need to humble myself back down because I'm starting to get into my head. I'm starting to get picked up too much, or I'm starting to get too low, and I just need to humble myself back to the level plane of resistance, you know what I'm saying, of existence. And just being like, yo, like, you know, this is where I'm at and this is where I need to be. And then, you know what I mean? And then it boils down to, once again, of my quote, man, like letting the universe unfold as it should, you know, and just because regardless of the situation, man, like it's gonna happen, you know. And if the things wouldn't have happened in our past to everybody as we are now, we wouldn't be the people that we are now.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly, you know what I mean? We'd be completely different people, man. Like, we wouldn't be sitting here doing this interview. Like, we wouldn't be, you know, sharing cannabis together, man. You never know, because, like, you know, if we didn't have the upbringing we did through the school systems or the education that we had as children, or being through the lifestyles, or, you know, being through the environments that we were, like, you know, I'm not blaming anything on nobody or nothing like that, because we are who we are and this is what we did to get to where we are, man. But, you know, like, there could be other instances where we could be, you know, had it gotten like a higher education, you know what I mean? Like I could have maybe made it past the 10th grade, you know, but I didn't because I wanted to drop out and do other things because that's the lifestyle that I was in, you know what I mean? That was the cool thing to do, man. Like it wasn't cool to finish school at the time, you know? It was like, let's drop out and be street homies, you know what I'm saying? Like we got a house already, we got money, we got cars, like what else do we need, you know? Like that's the whole mindset about it. But you know, it just goes back into humbling yourself down, man. And that's one thing too, you know, where it comes down with the whole Battle Axe Warriors movement and stuff, why I'm going so headstrong in that, you know. It's not only just for me and my life change as well, but it's for my son, you know, to show him that there's more out there than gangbanging and doing this street shit, you know what I mean? It's like you can do something with yourself, man. You can get an education and you can work that job and you can still be cool, you know what I mean? You don't have to do everything that we're doing or everything that your dad did or whatever to try to gain street cred or whatever the hell may be the case, you know? It's like do your own thing, man. Like carve your own path, you know? Do your own shit, you know what I mean? That's more gangster, you know what I'm saying? Than trying to fucking follow someone else, you know what I mean? Be a leader instead of a fucking follower, like 100, you know?
Real quick, throw some shout outs out.
Yeah, man, I'd like to give a shout out to, let's hit it off top with Jesse B-Dog, Ashtray Studios.
Shout out B-Dog.
You know what I mean? Much love. Thanks for everything you've been doing on my album, man. You know, straight up.
Shout out Mind Coup, Trevor Dougherty, by the way. Appreciate that guy.
Yeah. And, let's give a fucking, you know, shout out for Trevor for pulling me in here for this interview, man. You know what I'm saying? Making
Much love, appreciate you, man.
And let's give a shout out to all the collabs that I got on the album, man. You know, coming out. Much love to everybody jumping up on there. Battle Axe Global as a whole as well. Spokane Backstore. You know, I got love for you guys as well. Much love to all my brothers. Rose City Backstore. Dogtown Killing Machine. Throw those guys out there. You know, I'd like to give a little shout out to Breeze. He's one of my glass blown homeboys, you know what I'm saying? He's actually vice president for the Dogtown Killing Machine, but man, that dude's been cranking out some dope glass pendants lately. You know, I can't get enough of buying them, man. And he's been hooking it up for the giveaways too. My giveaway I did on 420, he hooked it up with a fat pendant for that. Him and the homie Tim. Give a shout out to Timmy as well for that.
Oh yeah, shout out Slim. He's been blowing hella glass.
And you know, shout out to Will Glass for the underground hustling. Just always keeping it real, man. Always really good to work with. And my very last shout out, I want to give a shout out to not only my family, but give a shout out to this other cat, XTR. You know, XTR Productions. I get a couple beats from him every now and again as well. And we got a couple singles that he has on his website, xtrproductions.com. You can go and check it out. And that's pretty much it, man. You know?
Yeah, one more I gotta say is very much special thanks and shout out to Farasha Dance of Glow Effects. Always keeping my shades on. Appreciate you. Thanks again for coming, you know, meet me down in the ashtray.
I'm really glad that you had me on, honestly, man. And hopefully my rambling gives you some good, you know what I'm saying? We get this fucking shit cracking from here on out, bro. You know what I mean? It's only up, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
It's only
most
up.
Definitely. Well, thank you everybody for watching, listening this week. Stay tuned for another one next week.
Mahalo, fam.